Have you ever wondered if you're truly living your purpose? If the path you're walking is the one your soul chose before you were born? Dr. Brian Weiss, the renowned psychiatrist and pioneer in past life regression therapy, has spent decades helping people understand that we all come to this earth with a specific mission. And here's what might surprise you: you might already be fulfilling it without even realizing it. Today, we're going to explore 8 profound signs that indicate you're already aligned with your soul's deepest purpose. These aren't just random coincidences or wishful thinking. These are real, tangible indicators that your spirit is exactly where it needs to be, doing exactly what it came here to do. If you feel drawn to this kind of spiritual awakening, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Leave a comment saying, "I'm ready to evolve spiritually, and let's build this conscious community together." Dr. Brian Weiss didn't start his career believing in past lives or soul missions. He was a traditional psychiatrist, trained in conventional medicine at Yale and Columbia. But everything changed when he began working with a patient named Catherine in the 1980s. Through hypnosis sessions intended to treat her anxiety, Catherine began recalling what appeared to be past life memories. More remarkably, she started channeling messages from spiritual beings who shared profound wisdom about the nature of the soul's journey. This experience transformed not only Catherine's life, but also Dr. Weiss's understanding of human existence. He realized that we don't just live one life and disappear. Instead, our souls embark on multiple journeys, each designed to learn specific lessons and fulfill particular purposes. According to Weiss, before we're born, our souls choose the circumstances, relationships, and challenges that will best serve our spiritual growth. This concept might seem foreign to some, but various spiritual traditions have embraced similar ideas for thousands of years. Hinduism speaks of dharma, one's righteous path in life. Buddhism discusses the concept of karma and rebirth. Even in Western mysticism, there's recognition that we're here for reasons beyond mere survival and material success. The fascinating thing about soul missions is that they're not always what we might expect. You don't need to be a famous spiritual teacher or humanitarian to be fulfilling your purpose. Sometimes, the most profound spiritual work happens in the quietest moments, in the smallest acts of love, in the decision to heal yourself so you can better serve others. But here's where it gets challenging. In our modern world, we're often disconnected from our deeper purpose. We get caught up in societal expectations, material pursuits, and external validation. We might feel lost, wondering if we're wasting our time or missing our calling entirely. Many people spend years searching for their purpose, not realizing they might already be living it. The confusion often stems from our limited understanding of what spiritual work actually looks like. We might think we need to meditate for hours daily, travel to ashrams, or dedicate our lives to helping others in obvious ways. But according to Dr. Weiss's teachings, soul missions are much more nuanced and personal than that. Sometimes your soul's mission might be to learn patience through difficult relationships. Sometimes it's to develop compassion by experiencing your own struggles. Sometimes it's to be a beacon of light for just one person who desperately needs to see that light. The impact doesn't always have to be massive or visible to be meaningful. Share in the comments a moment when you felt the presence of spiritual guidance or experienced an inner transformation that changed your perspective. Dr. Weiss often explains that our souls are like students in a cosmic university. Each lifetime is a semester, and each experience is a class designed to teach us something essential. The curriculum isn't random. It's carefully designed based on what our soul needs to learn and contribute. This understanding completely shifts how we view challenges and difficulties. Instead of seeing problems as punishments or random misfortunes, we can begin to recognize them as opportunities for growth and service. That difficult boss might be teaching you boundaries. That health challenge might be showing you the importance of self-care. That broken relationship might be helping you understand unconditional love. The beautiful thing about this perspective is that it removes the pressure to figure everything out immediately. You don't need to have a grand revelation about your purpose. You don't need to completely change your life overnight. Instead, you can trust that if you're here, breathing, conscious, and reading these words, you're exactly where you need to be for your soul's evolution. Now let's dive into the 8 signs that indicate you're already fulfilling your soul's mission. These signs might seem simple, but they're actually profound indicators of spiritual alignment. Dr. Weiss has observed these patterns in thousands of clients over his decades of practice. The first sign is experiencing meaningful synchronicities regularly. This isn't just about seeing repeating numbers or having random coincidences. True synchronicities feel divinely orchestrated. You think of someone and they call. You need guidance, and the perfect book falls into your hands. You're struggling with a decision, and a stranger says exactly what you need to hear. These synchronicities happen because when you're aligned with your soul's purpose, you're more attuned to the subtle guidance that's always available. It's like tuning into the right radio frequency. Suddenly, the static clears and you can hear the music clearly. Dr. Weiss explains that our spirit guides and higher self constantly send us signals, but we can only receive them when we're vibrationally aligned with our purpose. The second sign is finding yourself naturally drawn to healing work, even if it's not your official profession. This doesn't necessarily mean you're destined to become a doctor or therapist. Healing work can take many forms. Maybe you're the friend everyone comes to for advice. Maybe you have a gift for making people laugh when they're sad. Maybe you're naturally good at listening without judgment. According to Dr. Weiss, many souls incarnate specifically to be healers in various capacities. Some heal through medicine, others through art, music, or simply their presence. If people consistently tell you that you make them feel better, or if you find yourself automatically trying to help others feel more comfortable, this could be a strong indicator that healing is part of your soul's mission. The third sign is experiencing rapid personal growth, especially after challenging periods. When you're fulfilling your soul's mission, difficulties don't just happen to you, they happen for you. You might notice that you bounce back from setbacks more quickly than before. You extract wisdom from painful experiences. You find yourself becoming more compassionate, patient, or understanding after going through tough times. This accelerated growth happens because your soul is actively engaged in its learning process. It's like the difference between passively sitting in a lecture and actively participating in a hands-on workshop. When you're aligned with your purpose, every experience becomes a tool for expansion. If this message is touching your soul, leave a like so more consciousnesses can awaken to the light. The fourth sign is having vivid, meaningful dreams or receiving guidance during meditation. Dr. Weiss often emphasizes that our souls communicate with us most clearly when our conscious minds are quiet. During sleep or deep meditation, the barriers between our everyday awareness and our higher wisdom dissolve. You might find yourself dreaming about past lives, receiving messages from deceased loved ones, or simply waking up with clear insights about your life direction. Some people receive guidance through imagery, others through voices, and some through sudden knowing. The key is that this guidance feels different from your usual thoughts. It has a quality of love, wisdom, and clarity that comes from beyond your ordinary mind. The fifth sign is feeling a deep sense of compassion for others, even those who have hurt you. When you're fulfilling your soul's mission, you begin to see life from a higher perspective. You understand that everyone is fighting battles you know nothing about. You recognize that people who cause pain are usually in pain themselves. This doesn't mean you become a doormat or allow others to mistreat you. Instead, you develop the wisdom to set healthy boundaries while maintaining an open heart. You might find yourself naturally forgiving people who wronged you, not because they deserve it, but because holding on to resentment doesn't serve your soul's growth. The sixth sign is discovering hidden talents or interests that seem to come from nowhere. Maybe you suddenly feel called to learn a musical instrument you've never shown interest in before. Maybe you develop an unexpected talent for writing, gardening, or counseling. These emerging abilities aren't coincidences. They're often skills your soul has developed in previous lifetimes that are now surfacing because they're needed for your current mission. Dr. Weiss has documented numerous cases of people suddenly developing abilities that seem impossible given their background or training. A businessman might discover an extraordinary gift for healing. A shy person might become a compelling public speaker. These talents emerge when your soul recognizes it's time to use them for your higher purpose. Write in the comments, "Today I release old patterns and embrace the light of spiritual renewal." The seventh sign is feeling a strong connection to certain time periods, cultures, or places you've never visited. This is often evidence of past life connections that are relevant to your current soul mission. Maybe you've always felt drawn to ancient Egypt, medieval times, or a specific country. Maybe you feel an inexplicable familiarity with certain spiritual practices or philosophies. These connections aren't just romantic fantasies. According to Dr. Weiss, our souls often return to complete unfinished business or to use wisdom gained in previous lifetimes. If you feel strongly drawn to a particular healing modality, spiritual practice, or cultural tradition, it might be because your soul has experience with these things and is ready to apply that knowledge in service of others. The eighth and perhaps most important sign is experiencing a deep sense of inner peace despite external chaos. This doesn't mean your life is perfect or that you never face challenges. Instead, it means you've developed an unshakable knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. You trust the process of life, even when you can't see the bigger picture. This inner peace comes from recognizing that your soul is eternal and that this lifetime, with all its joys and sorrows, is just one chapter in a much larger story. When you're aligned with your soul's mission, you stop struggling against life and start flowing with it. You understand that resistance creates suffering, while acceptance creates space for miracles. Dr. Weiss often tells his patients that the goal isn't to eliminate all difficulties from life, but to change our relationship with them. When we understand that challenges are opportunities for growth rather than punishments, we can maintain our peace even in the midst of storms. Now you might be wondering, what if you recognize some of these signs but not others? What if you feel like you're only partially aligned with your purpose? This is completely normal and actually quite common. Soul missions aren't all-or-nothing propositions. They unfold gradually, often over many years or even decades. Think of it like learning to play a musical instrument. You don't become a virtuoso overnight. First, you learn basic chords, then simple songs, then more complex pieces. Similarly, your soul's mission might start with small acts of service or personal healing and gradually expand into larger expressions of your purpose. The important thing is to be patient with yourself and trust the process. Every moment of kindness, every act of compassion, every step toward personal growth is valuable. You don't need to wait until you're fully awakened to start making a difference. In fact, the very act of seeking to understand your purpose is itself part of fulfilling it. Thank the higher plan by leaving your like as a sign of connection and gratitude for this message received. Dr. Weiss also emphasizes the importance of community in fulfilling our soul missions. We're not meant to walk this path alone. Often, our missions involve connecting with other souls who are on similar journeys. These soul connections can provide support, inspiration, and opportunities for mutual growth. You might find that, as you align more closely with your purpose, you naturally attract people who resonate with your energy. Conversely, relationships that no longer serve your highest good might naturally fall away. This can sometimes be painful, but it's often necessary for your continued growth. It's also worth noting that soul missions can evolve throughout your lifetime. What feels like your purpose at 20 might be different from what calls to you at 40 or 60. This doesn't mean you were wrong before. It means your soul is continuing to grow and expand into new areas of service. Some people worry that they've missed their calling or taken a wrong turn somewhere along the way. Dr. Weiss reassures us that it's never too late to align with our soul's purpose. Every moment offers a new opportunity to choose love over fear, service over selfishness, growth over stagnation. If you've made mistakes or choices you regret, remember that even these experiences can serve your soul's mission. Often, our greatest wounds become our greatest sources of wisdom and compassion. The person who has struggled with addiction might become a powerful counselor for others facing similar challenges. The individual who has experienced deep loss might develop an extraordinary ability to comfort those who are grieving. The key is to approach your past with compassion rather than judgment. Your soul chose this life with full knowledge of the challenges you would face. Every experience, positive or negative, is raw material for your spiritual growth and service to others. As we near the end of our exploration, it's important to remember that fulfilling your soul's mission isn't about achieving some perfect state of enlightenment. It's about showing up authentically, doing your best with where you are right now, and remaining open to growth and learning. Sometimes the most profound spiritual work happens in the most ordinary moments. The parent who listens patiently to their child's fears is doing soul work. The cashier who smiles genuinely at every customer is spreading light. The person who chooses forgiveness over resentment is participating in the healing of the world. Comment: I align myself with the purposes of good and continue firmly on my journey of elevation. Dr. Weiss's work has shown us that we live in a universe where love is the fundamental force, where every soul matters, and where each of us has a unique